All right, welcome back, everybody. Final game of the night, but not final run. We've got one more after this. This is Neon White, and I'm very excited for this recent game that just came out. Again, a couple quick announcements before we get started. GDQ Summer Games Done Quick is wrapped up. Check out the playlist on the Games Done Quick YouTube channel. A lot of good runs on there. Like I said earlier, Borderlands 2, Control, Doom. There's a couple really good like indie runs. TBCR did one. So they're great. You should go watch them. And check out Games Done Quick on Instagram to get bite-sized clips from the Hotfix shows and see what happens at the event. So, Neon White, Azure.
Neon White.
You've been playing this game a little bit?
A little bit. So this game came out on June 16th, just under a month ago. My Steam hours are currently looking like...
I was going to check your profile.
My Steam hours are currently sitting at 229.7. I would assume a fair few of those is from leaving the game on overnight, but also a fair few of those are not. So this has been monopolizing my time lately. I work in education. It's summer break. I have a very light workload, so this has been how I keep my mind occupied.
Today
we're going to be doing
60 hours on your file.
So this 60 hours on my file is my second save file that reached 60 hours. My first one I accidentally deleted and then had to re-100% the game. So in actual gameplay, we're up at about 120. And that is, I believe, only time spent in the file, which doesn't include level rush times. I may be incorrect about that.
Does not include level rush times because most of my time is in level rush and I'm sitting at 58 hours.
Yeah, so today we're going to be doing White's Heaven Rush, which is every main story level in a single run. We have unlimited restarts and unlimited lives. Hopefully we won't need to use any of these. And Humps, actually, just before our our showcase here, has beaten me by under a second. So our goal for tonight is going to be to take this record back. And if I don't get it this run, you better believe that I'm spending the next days and days and days grinding this thing out to get it back. So congrats to Humps. A very good showing. Hopefully I can do just a little bit better though. So without further ado, I believe we start. We can start.
Yeah. Let it rip.
Fortunately, we have an in-game timer here, so that'll be it. But you'll see a 3, 2, 1 on the screen, and as soon as the level starts, that's when time is going to start. So let's just play the video game. That is global, right? Okay, perfect. All right, yep. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So, in Neon White, you play as Neon White, who is a sinner plucked from hell to do God's dirty work. Essentially, the idea is that White was an assassin in his life, and if you do bad things, you get punished in the afterlife. And his punishment, we don't get to see so much of that, but we do see him being brought into heaven during the week of judgment, in which all of these neons have to kill as many demons as possible, as quickly as possible, to earn their spot in heaven. I'm playing very slowly to try to explain the nature of the game. Amyrlinn, you want to explain it for a second?
Yeah. So you play as the titular Neon White, and your goal is to kill all the demons. You'll see in the upper left-hand corner, there is the counter now 4. Azure has to kill every single demon in the level in order to get past. And this does mean that if he misses any, he'll have to turn around. This is why I asked him to play Heaven Rush and not Hell Rush, because those categories do differ. So Heaven Rush, you have unlimited amount of restarts, unlimited lives. You can do basically whatever. You can try levels as many times as you want. In Hell Rush, you have 1 life, and if you die, the run is over. So a little bit of marathon safety for this one.
Yeah.
But you will notice that when he is on the water, he's running very fast. It is faster in this game. See, there's the one.
Dude.
You got one.
All right. Can't believe it.
So you'll notice when he's on the water, he's running very fast. That's because in this game, it's faster to run on the water. It's also faster to slightly bump off the water like that. And then you'll see him slash these bombs like that. And slashing bombs or shooting or meleeing any projectile gives you a speed boost. So right here reflects that bomb that gives him a speed boost, and it kills the enemy. these first levels go by really fast because they're meant to teach you about the game, but we know a lot about the game already. So we're, just doing them in extremely dev unintended ways. So we can explain the cards a little bit while you do this. Purify.
I can handle this. So Purify is our first card. Now the main gimmick of this game is that you collect cards throughout the levels that work as your weapon. So we have Purify, which is an LMG, and Elevate, which is a pistol. But the neat thing about the cards is that you can discard them to get a special ability. So Purify's ability is a sticky bomb, and Elevate's ability is a double jump. Right, so what you want to do is use all of these card abilities in conjunction to complete the levels as fast as possible. And yeah, like I was saying, whenever an enemy shoots a projectile at you, if you parry it, you get a speed boost. All right, new weapon here is Godspeed.
Pillar?
Kind of, Pillar, which is kind of bolt action rifle. And its discard ability is a dash. So it's a straight horizontal dash that needs to go out 6 more inches, honestly, hashtag 6 more inches, but also kills enemies if they get hit by it.
It creates a kill plane around you, so it kills everything, so you can dash through everything really fast. So part of the strategy of this game is there's very clearly dev intended ways to do this. Like every card is laid out through the level in a natural progression to let you finish it. But since we are speedrunners, we figure out the unintended ways to use them. So like you're supposed to go all the way around to the right here, but instead you just use a card, jump across that gap, reflect that, and kill that guy. And it gets even more ridiculous as time goes on.
Right now we're in the very early chapters of the game where the levels are fairly simple. Once we get a little bit later on, the chapters get longer and more convoluted. We get bigger levels with more enemies and more paths that you can take. So right now this game is very early in its speedrun life cycle, which is pretty cool, right? Optimizations are being found every day, new tech, people are just getting better at the game, right? And it's really nice to be in, like, as opposed to the Talos Principle, which is, an 8-year-old game that, I've been running since it came out. This is something that is a lot more dynamic, and it's, I feel like every day I'll wake up and check the Discord and there's a new strat or a new PB or fight somebody, so.
There are individual levers to this game, obviously. Every single one of those has what's called a red ace, which is the dev time for the game. And pretty much all of Azuray's level times are going to be faster than the dev time by like a significant amount.
Well, not Purify because I got wand, but
you got wand. But
I should have played that one a little bit safer. Honestly, I was kind of playing as if I was going for record attempts on my stream, but that's muscle memory for you, right?
I mean, it's Heaven Rush. You can go for record attempts. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
I will say some of the dev times are pretty tight. There's even a few that I don't have, and I've almost red aced the entire game.
We'll get there. I believe in you.
Yeah, Mimic sucks. Anyway,
Mimic is a tough one. So hopefully,
now we've got a new card called Stomp, which is a submachine gun, but it also, as the thing implies, it stomps. Unfortunately, when you stomp, there's no way to stop. Well, okay, there is a way to stop stomping, and it's if you use another card. But if you stomp with no other card, you are committed to that stomp. So a lot of these stomp-focused levels are very vertical.
Yep. Keeping that platform there a little bit faster. Dash through these guys and just elevate straight up to this water platform. Wow.
So here's a big vertical level. So he's going to fly all the way over these, kill all of them, stomp down, double Godspeed, stomp into the end.
That was a gold split.
Very satisfying. I'm glad you're running splits for this.
Yeah. All right. So
here's how you stop a stomp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Use the Godspeed there mid-stomp to break it. A little bit of EU aim right there.
Yeah. This was the first level that really started getting people interested in the game, because the red ace time, the ace time for this level is 30 seconds, and there were people putting up 13-second times in this level, like that, pretty much. Yep. And you do not interact at all with how the devs intended you to play that level.
Yeah, that level is called canals because there are some of these waterways that you're supposed to run across. But yeah, there's no water in the speed route, unfortunately. Normally, you want to maximize water because you do run much faster on water than you do on not water.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. A lot of the strats for the early levels are find the water as fast as possible. So you see doors there. Doors can be broken by either Purify, Godspeed, Fireball. I think that's it. And then also you can shoot the doors, but that's slow and bad.
Yeah, shooting the doors takes a lot of time and a lot of ammo. You won't see me doing that.
Yep.
See, I'm really doing a door shooting strat, though, in Rainbow Rush. So stick around after this run for the side quests.
Yeah.
Right, chapter 4 is our first boss chapter here. So a couple of short levels, shortish, I guess. And we'll be fighting against a Neon Green, our arch rival.
There's a story in this game. It's very visual novel-y.
Story definitely evokes the feelings of a mid-2000s shonen anime, and I am 100% here for it.
Oh yeah, the story owns. It's so good.
Also,
it's very
fortunately,
campy.
Yeah, the level rush skips all of the dialogue, which is fortunate because some of the dialogue I think is a little too hot for GDQ, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm not going to talk about Violet's introduction.
We don't talk about that. That's fine.
Yeah. So this is where the levels start getting a lot more like. All right, so this is the first boss fight. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
To do a phase skip here, he needs to do a bunch of extra damage before green is actually quote-unquote damageable.
So yeah, so you see how I started
casual
the
players
DPS phase with a huge chunk of his health bar already gone.
Yeah. So if he did everything right here, he's going to shoot these crystals, which is blocking green shield. Double jump here up to this tower. Kill all of these crystals real fast, which, by the way, that skipped like 20 seconds. And then this should kill him.
That jump in itself is a pretty large skip.
Yeah. That's probably like a 45-second boss time. That's really hard.
Yep.
All right. So now we've added Fireball to our arsenal, which is a shotgun that the discard ability turns you into a fireball, and you zoom.
The Fireball simultaneously the best and the worst weapon. You only get 3 shots with it, and the spread is kind of obnoxious. There's actually no shell that goes to the center of the crosshair, so sometimes you have to do some funky aiming to hit specific objects.
Yeah. We've also added another enemy, which is these blob guys. I don't really know.
The ammo blobs.
They shoot out an AoE of shots, which is really good because parrying shots makes you go faster, and there's a lot of them.
Yep. Yeah, those guys are called ringers. They shoot a ring of bullets around them, and every bullet you shoot gives you a nice little speed boost. You can see there I kind of went pretty quick. All right, I'm going to do IL strats on Boom because I'm a gamer.
Oh, Dick, I hate this IL strat.
Dude, it's easy. I don't see what the
Okay,
problem is.
wow. That's really difficult.
I don't see what
so
the
that
problem is.
strat relies on enemies that have breakable platforms under them are immediately killed when that breakable platform is broken. So if he jumps into that, then it jumps into that with the fireball effect, it kills them.
Yep. So you
I'm
keep the
talking
fireball-
behind myself so hard, but like...
Yeah.
It's,
You keep the fireball effect after the elevate there as well. Oh, which is quite nice.
Yeah. So we're starting to get into the portion of the game where aim becomes a huge factor, to the point where there are some levels that are affectionately dubbed aim labs blank.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing some aim lab strats later on in the run.
Yeah.
Actually, the very
in these
next
early-
level actually is going to be a little bit of a treat. Hopefully I can get it pretty good.
So per Azrae's request for this run, I didn't watch a lot of his
time for
footage of this. All right, so this is the infamous IL apartment. He does this right. This is like 13 seconds.
Ah, damn it. All right. One more try.
One more try. All right, so again, is very difficult because you're not meant to be shooting
There we go.
that enemy going that fast by him.
All right.
So that's
Second try.
apartments. Yeah. So now the levels get a little bit longer. The previous levels, besides green as a boss fight, were all about 10, maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah, I
at
think
the
the longest
longest.
one is Glassport, which is like 24. But now 24 is
Yeah.
going to be about average level time.
Yep. Nice.
Nice
Yeah, a
little-
lot, and the red ace in this level is so hard.
Yeah, very satisfying little shortcut there, fireballing and sliding through the enemies. So a nice little quirk about the fireball card is that when you discard it and you land on the ground, you get water speed for about a second and a half, I guess.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a rough estimate. But you get that nice little fireball slide there. All right. Kill
So-
switch is a bit of a easy level, so
Yeah, so I was
We
going
can
to say, I don't know
breathe
if you
through
really
it.
talked about them, but there's tripwires in this. I don't know exactly when they're introduced, but they're the purple
Yes, this
things you
is
see.
the
When you shoot them, they go out and do damage to whatever they're pointing at. Or if you intercept them with your body, they kill you.
Yep. All right. Time for falling. You can save a little bit of time by not landing up here and doing this with the katana instead of shotgun.
Yeah, this strat sucks so bad. This one took me so long to get, and is why I'm not a. That's why I don't run weight brush. All right,
those
so
last
shoot all these
3.
barrels, stomp all the way down, easy.
Okay, shocker. Another pretty basic level. It's funny in the Devs React video, they said that they were going to add a shortcut that skips the little balloon section coming up here, and I kind of wish that they did, but overall this level's pretty fine. Just nice little turn around there. Dev intended shortcuts. Still
Yeah.
shortcuts.
These introduce directional mines. The green is the quote-unquote intended direction to go, and the one that puts you further into the level. But as you can see on that level, sometimes the green is not the way to go.
Yeah, we'll see that again here on Bucket, where we will use the black pedal over here.
They all do shoot the same speed. So like hitting the green pedal isn't necessarily better than any other one. It's just the way you're supposed to be going.
Yeah, the velocity part of it is the same. So
Yeah.
it's just colored that way to show you like, hey, this is the way forward through the level.
Yeah. Which is good because honestly, it would be really difficult to see these without that.
Yeah, very nice touch. Yeah, I think the devs struck a really good balance of this game being a nice speed game with a lot of depth and easy enough to kind of sight read for newer players. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that are like, even like I played this game with GDQ because I was addicted to this game, still am. And there's a lot of people that were like, this game feels really good. Like the controls are basically pitch perfect. Sort of in labs. Okay.
Sorta. Not the best I've ever done.
Not Blade and Aim Labs.
No. There's some gamers who play this game. Shout out to Bladen, who has a route for this level that saves 3 seconds, but requires you to actually just feel Team 6.
Yeah.
That's baby.
So this is race. This is a bunch of demons. There's a bunch of tripwire demons set up in a line to the finish. And you might think there's no way to speed this up. Well, there is. If you interrupt the race and shoot the demons early, you can, like that, skip along the path a little bit faster. But if you don't get here in time, it breaks the platform and then you die.
Yeah, it's really cool because that level feels like an auto-scroller the first time you do it. But then you see the time for the ace medal in game, and it's like, that doesn't seem possible. But then you think about it a little bit, and you're like, can speed the snake up a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of the ace times are good starter points to like being interested in this game.
Almost killed me there.
Oof. That was tight. Is this where Guardians are introduced? I don't remember.
Guardians are way back, but yeah, they're the head enemies that'll lock onto you, and if they are allowed to lock on for long enough, they'll fire an insta-kill laser at you. So that one was within a fraction of a second of just toasting me.
Yeah. They are a bigger problem in Yellow Rush.
Yes.
In one specific level.
Yeah.
They're not very much a problem here.
Yeah, when everyone's doing the side quest rushes, we'll talk about the different kind of gimmicks that they have. Oop, we're going around.
Yeah, sorry, we'll talk about them. I will not be talking.
Yeah, that's true. That's why my commentary has been relatively silent. Is this game takes a lot of focus to play.
Yeah. Even
remotely reasonably. So
we did not go over any of this commentary at all, so I'm just kind of freestyling.
You're doing a great job. Hopefully I'm doing a great job too. I'm going to do the Mario.
You're always doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah,
all right.
Here, shoot that. 1, 2, 3, shoot, and easy. All right.
Easy.
All right,
so
Mimic.
this is
notes,
Mimic. This introduces mimics. Okay, like I know the strat. It's just
1, 2, 3, shoot, and then fireball the ground. There you go.
Yeah, I think I need to fireball the ground. Anyway, so this introduces mimics. Mimics shoot out a ring of instant kill projectiles. If any of them touch you, you die immediately. They're reflectable, but you know, no reason to because it's not going to kill the mimic. Also,
there is
if
a reason
you do,
to. It makes you go faster.
Okay, sure. But if you use weapon redacted from later and you hit the mimics, it insta kills you.
It does.
This is Greenhouse. This level is normally like 20 seconds, but if you jump around the outside and then shoot things, then the level's over.
Yep. Sweep is my least favorite level in the entire game.
Oh, really? I love Sweep.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I didn't grab the Purify.
Yeah. So anyway, this is why we're playing Heaven Rush and not Hell Rush, because if we had been playing
believe me, if we're playing Hell Rush,
we'd have had to restart.
Yeah, if we're playing Hell Rush, I'm not going for fast sweep. All right, fast enough though.
And it's just a casual fault at the end. This is Fuse?
Fuse, yep.
Yep. So this is one of the longer levels of the game. It's this huge winding track with a lot of water that goes all over the map. But again, there's mimics, and they instant kill anything that is around them. So if you know where the mimics are, you can just kind of shoot the mimics. And the devs have usually placed them in ways that they'll kill every enemy around them.
All right.
So now we're in Heaven's Edge, and we've introduced Dominion, which is basically rocket jumping. Got the Dempsey strat?
I did, but I missed the 3 at the end.
Whatever.
Yeah, I've been practicing that a lot.
Yeah.
You'll see another strat in this chapter that I've been practicing a lot.
Oh, are you doing aim labs?
Don't worry about it. Are you worried about it? Don't worry about it.
No.
All right.
So Dominion rocket jumping, any boost in this game, so that includes Purify bombs, always sends you upward, regardless of where it hits you. So you'll see Azrael is like firing them above himself sometimes. That still sends you upward.
Dude, it's actually one of the longest levels in the entire game. Fortunately, it's pretty easy, but mistakes here are very costly.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of skips that he's doing here. Like you're meant to go around there and hop on some stuff, but instead you just do this.
Yeah, even with skips like that, this is still a 40-second level.
Yeah, and it's because of those bubbles, which I guess we didn't talk about those either. The bubbles prevent any fire from neon white into them, so you have to physically go inside them to break them, and they do count as a demon. So this is some level. I will freely admit to not remembering all these level names.
It's not a super interesting one, speedrunning wise. The route is essentially intended.
I actually think this one is pretty interesting because this is the first one that kind of teaches you in the dev time that you need to be saving your weapons sometimes and not immediately discarding them.
Something like that, where you need to use all 3 of the fireballs that you've saved up throughout the level to do that shortcut. All right, this is Ascent.
Aim labs?
Aim labs.
Oh no.
All right, so we shoot here, grapple here, you shoot here, you rocket jump, then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bounce off this guy, grab this, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna grapple this guy, shoot here, and then shoot there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and shoot that guy.
What?
It's easy, Amy. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Strat's easy.
Okay, dude. All right, so the joke about aim labs is that, like, obviously your aim has to be wild to do these, and aiming precisely in this game is really hard.
And then I immediately followed that by accidentally right-clicking instead of left-clicking, trying to rocket.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Don't worry about it. You know, it's 12 a.m. right now. I woke up for work at like 8, so I'm sleepy.
Yeah, you got this.
I'm sleepy. That's all right.
Yeah, Chad is absolutely popping off.
Thank you. Something. Follow me on Twitch.
Yeah.
All right.
Twitch.tv/Azray. Please follow him right now. If you want to see just absolutely incredible gaming.
All right. Firecracker's pretty normal.
Oh, I added an commentator. You were also the commentator. Whatever.
Ooh. That's true. Jack of all trades.
Yeah. So a lot of these Dominion levels are pretty long because I guess we didn't talk about the fact that Dominions are also grapple hooks.
Yes.
Which they introduced. It's cool. Like, yeah. I don't know. Grappling hook. Doing a grappling hook with Dominion is slower than just
rocket
getting there
jumping
normally.
out.
Yeah, than just rocket jumping. So if you have a choice between aim labs here, yep, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Aim labs on this level is pretty easy, but I'm not going to say
It's
I'm
frame
not gonna say
perfect.
any of these are
It's
easy.
frame perfect.
Yeah. I struggled with this one. That's because I'm bad at the game.
All right, mirror is a fun one.
Mirror sucks.
Mirror's great.
Middle of the door. Yep.
Middle of the door.
Easy every time.
Oh no, I need that balloon. How am I gonna get to the rest of the level? You have a lot of rockets.
You grab a ton of rockets and you go over to this huge building and you boost all the way up the side of it.
One more. 13. There we go. Lucky 13.
Didn't have to katana.
All right.
All right. So this is one of the hardest Red Ace medals for me personally. This one took me a while. So
Yeah, we've entered chapter 9. This is where level design tends to open up quite a bit. We get some wild ones.
yeah, so past here they really just started throwing basically every card into a level and said, okay, figure it out yourself. And so it leads to a bunch of like the, again, quote unquote dev intended parts of this level, like route for this level is pretty normal, where you just use a card for a certain section.
Let's just run that one day.
Yeah. But if they give you access to every single card in a level, pretty much, then you can just use it to do kind of unhinged strats.
Yeah. All three of them. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, especially Dominion. Having access to Dominion in a level is really good because obviously having a rocket launcher that one-shots anything is really good.
Blink and you'll miss it, but we actually use a vending machine here to get an extra Godspeed. Vending machines are kind of put there like as in case of emergency for when you're playing the game. You hit them once, and then you have to wait a little bit, and then it'll spit a card out for you. It's usually used for if you get stuck somewhere. But
Also sometimes used for the gift hunting.
Yes, yeah, for gift hunting. So those are the collectibles in the game. But that one you can actually hit from far enough away that by the time you reach it, it spits its card out and you get an extra Godspeed, so you can dash one more time in that level to save some time. not mean to hit the,
Nice.
the ground there, but that's not a bad thing. All right, have to be careful with ammo here. The fireball does only come with 3 shots. These ringers always drop ammo. I do need to be careful. All right, mayhem.
Yeah, so this level pretty much perfectly exemplifies they put mimics everywhere to kill you and also everything. But also you can just shoot the mimics to kill everything. So there were a bunch of mimics throughout that level, and he shot all of them instead of shooting any of the enemies. So this is barrage. You're supposed to use the purifies to shoot the enemies, but instead, if you manually shoot them with the assault rifle that the purify is,
yeah, you can just jump straight up to the second tier of the level here. This little katana reflect. I want to hit the side of these so that I can kind of swing out onto a state, one of the hardest, or not the hardest, but the longest levels in this run.
yeah, this one's particularly difficult because if you make a mistake, like there's, again, you can see 60 demons and even more in this level, and if you miss one, then you restart the level.
We go again, and it's 40-second level, so
yeah.
Pretty untenable time loss.
But Azra as a gamer would never miss.
How would I miss?
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't missed anybody so far. I've got demon counts at like midpoints of levels to kind of status check myself. But there we go.
Nice 3-shot. So this is a level that really plays around with tripwires. There's a lot of traps hidden that will kill you if you're not paying attention, like that one.
The level is called Trapwire, and yeah, lots of the tripwires are set up to be so that if you kill an enemy, a tripwire that was hidden behind it comes and smacks you in the face. Pretty nice though.
Yep. This is my personal least favorite level because I hate the purify shots that he's going to do right here.
All right, here's the strat: aim at the head, aim at the yellow guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm bad. That's why I have a 50 something.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah. So there's not much to talk about for the rest of this. It's just kind of doing the level as intended, but very fast. I thought you hit the back of that.
Yeah, nice little clip there on the shocker. All right, Fortress. Everybody loves Fortress, right?
Yeah, it's a great level.
Yeah, this level is the last level in this area, so it kind of goes all out.
Heaven is a trip.
Heaven is a trip.
Oh, by the way, this soundtrack is by Machine Girl. This soundtrack absolutely bangs. So.
Oh, it sure does.
Yeah. And it's not repetitive either, which feels great.
All right, third temple time. So, bit of a calm before the storm here. This is another one of the boss chapters. So we get to kind of navigate our way through this Forgotten Temple. And it's kind of neat because this is setting the scene for the next boss fight. The next boss fight is going to take place in this level.
And
we
you'll
get to see
notice
it
he's
once. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll notice he's saving a Dominion through here. That's to do the big skip in this.
Yep.
Wait, what are you doing?
It's different.
Okay.
This is
it somehow changed.
Yeah, this is a second faster, or 2 seconds faster, or something like that. But you just come over to here.
You know what? Okay, sure.
Use the save to Dominion and just grapple right there. And that skips the entire platforming section at the end of this level. You're not supposed to be able to save a Dominion, but with a carefully done rocket jump, you can get there. All right, it's time for Green 2, which is hard.
Yeah, this boss fight sucks. It's so hard. So he's got all these crystals that protect him, which Azar is destroying at the freaking speed of light.
Gaming.
Yeah, gaming.
That was not supposed to do that, but we're fine. We're fine.
So we're good.
Okay, we're not good.
Okay.
We're not good. The fat-fingered right click definitely did not do me any favors there.
So whenever you destroy sometimes when you destroy his crystals, he becomes vulnerable to being shot for a little bit. And so Azra is basically using that to the maximum potential by shooting him as often as he can.
Yep, so like right here, I'm gonna grab a shotgun blast. And the goal is to do as much extra damage as possible so that we can skip. It ends up being like 3 phases of this boss fight. This fight is normally 4 minutes long. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to do it in about 1:10.
Yeah. This is like to give like frame of reference, the ace time, which is what the devs are like, okay, you're good at the game if you get this, is 3 minutes 57 seconds. Which that's really long. And there are people who are absolute gamers at this level specifically.
Yeah, even the red ace, the like you're as good as the devs, is like a minute.
It's like 2 minutes or something.
A minute slower than what I'm doing right here. But yeah, we're just gonna pop up, hit this guy right there.
Nice, perfect.
All right, time for 1,000-pound butterfly.
Time for the boof of life. So past all that, they just said, what if we give you a telefrag?
Yep.
And the telefrag has pretty much unlimited range. So there's a lot of content in these levels that Azra is not doing or interacting with because he can just teleport to an enemy.
You don't have to kill all the demons anymore.
Yeah.
You just have to get to the end. Because in this part of the story, we're trying to restore the Book of Life. So we find the page of the Book of Life, and that gives us the incredibly overpowered teleport to an enemy and insta-kill it ability. Nice
square above.
Right square above, and then perfect.
So
these levels go pretty quick.
Yeah, this is the one where I first noticed that the boof is pretty powerful because you hit 2 things and then the level ends.
Yep.
All of these levels have wild skips with boof. And we call it, it's the Book of Life, but it's called the boof because it says boof.
Yep. Just look at that font.
Yeah. So there's a little skip here. I actually don't know if you're going to go for it because last time I saw you didn't.
Well, let's do it just for the fans.
Yeah. There's no collision on the right side of that. You can just walk through it.
Oh, there he is. Also, if you grab an object from far enough away, the trip lines will not kill you. All right, Congregation is a bit weird for this chapter. They don't give you the page instantly. You have to go and find it, like an adventure.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maintain one of these elevates. And
you're going to go for Congregate.
Oh, have you not seen this? The new one?
I mean, well, yeah, but that's slower.
Actually not. That's the IL world record does that strat now.
Oh, okay. Anyway, now they introduce mimics, and if you boof to a mimic, it kills you immediately. So you got to be really careful with that.
All right, up next is Marathon.
Here's Marathon. This is a 2-minute level, but if you blink, you're going to miss it.
Yep. So all of these tripwires are set up so that if you book to them, you will ostensibly die. But if you hold the right directional inputs for each of them, you can survive them and make it all the way to the end, just like that.
There you go. Anyway, so this is the final boss. We're here already.
We're here. So unfortunately not a world record run, but I had fun. I hope you did.
Pretty good. Yeah. You freaking gamed out of your mind.
Yeah.
We're kind of being flippant about this, but this is pretty much a victory lap. This boss, it's really difficult to die on this.
Yeah.
Because the Book of Life is so overpowered.
Yeah. You don't get it for this section until quite a bit in, but fortunately it's not too hard. Gotta do some grappling there and there and there. And then we get our precious book back. But even with the Guardians there, like locking onto me, it doesn't matter. They can't ever hit me.
Yeah, teleporting with the book changes your position fast enough that they can't lock onto you anymore. So there's a little bit of a skip here. You're supposed to go around to the left, but instead, if you're a real gamer, you go around to the right.
Yeah, I also sniped the other 2 crystals with the rocket launcher from below.
Yeah. And then we break all of his little crystals, and then
And I am
Dies. And
that's going to be time. 35, 25.98.
that's still like what, top 3? Yep.
Yep.
That is
Would
a
have
third
been
place
second
time
if I didn't exist. Yeah.
behind Azure.
Yeah. Only 41 seconds slower than my PB, which is not bad for a marathon run where I got one and I reset a couple of levels and I had to do apartment twice.
Yeah.
I think we can get the. I think we can get the 3430.
That probably would have been a 3430 if you hadn't
it's
had
fine.
any of those.
Yeah, that was pretty good run.
Yeah.
For a marathon time, I am incredibly happy with a 35:25. So that's the main game. The White's Heaven Rush does all of the main game levels. Up next is the side quests, though. So you have a bunch of your neon friends, yellow, red, and violet, who all have gifts that you collect in each level. And getting the gifts unlocks conversations and memories, but more importantly, side quests for those characters. So each has 8 side quests. And Amyrlinn, our lovely host, will be speedrunning all 3 of them back to back in the Hell Rush mode,
Yes.
which means that if you die, the game is over. Fortunately, there's some upside. I'll let you talk about the Miracle Katana when we get there.
Yeah.
But for now, that's going to be me. Like I said, I didn't quite crack the 34:43, so that's going to be what I'm going to be working on for the next week. If you'd like to come on over my stream and join me for that, but for now, gonna give it on over to Amyrlinn.
Yeah, and not much to say from me. Frame Fatale's all-women speedrunning event came out with its schedule August 21st to 27th, !FF in Twitch chat or gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. And as I've said before, from now until July 15th, GDQ's revenues from subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered after taxes will be donated to Doctors Without Borders by Games Done Quick. Other than that, we are going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back with me for the first time doing Rainbow Rush of this. All right, hey everyone, back one last time. I'm Amyrlinn. I'm the host of the show, and usually I don't appear on this, but I've been speedrunning this game a lot too. I've been speedrunning specifically the Hell Rush side quests for Red, Yellow, and Violet, and I have like top 10 times in all of them, and I wanted to make a new category, so I thought for a bit, and I said I'm going to come up with something called Rainbow Rush. So this is all three of their level rushes back to back in any order. I don't care about the order. It's a new category. Whatever. I do what I want. And I'm going to be playing on them on Hell, which means I can never restart a level. I have 1 life, and I can discard my katana 3 times out of the 8 levels per rush. You get any card. So if you saw some of the cards in the previous run, like the Book of Life or the Dominion, they're pretty strong. Azri's still here. Azri's going to be doing most of the commentating.
I am still here.
Which is really hard.
Yeah, I'm sure you noticed that I was very talkative during Talos and then quiet down quite a bit playing Neon White. It is incredibly hard to play this game and talk at the same time. So anyone definitely knows the side quests a lot better than I do. I saw you sneakily showing off that your Hell Rush time for Violet is faster than mine. On your friends list there, yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
You, I got a 239, and then you were like, "Hey, I got a 236," and I was like, "Okay, I guess I got to beat that now."
Yep. And you beat it by quite a bit too. 7 seconds is impressive.
Yeah.
So up to 30, there's pretty nice.
Ajay is a gamer though. That's a 221. I'm trying to get that.
Yeah.
Okay. But all that said, here we go. So if I die, I'm going to be going for safety strats. So this isn't going to be like world record run pace. Because again, if I die, I have to restart, and I'm trying to show everything off. But with all that said, Richard, let's get it started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we're immediately starting out by wishing here, which skips an entire level, just to start off. So this is the Miracle Katana. I didn't have access to this in Heaven Rush. This is a Hell Rush specific item. 3 times per rush, you can discard to get a card of your choice. So we're gonna be starting out.
Really difficult.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The idea there is that you need to dash into a balloon demon, but Violet's levels are all about these kind of tricks and traps, right? So if you dash into the balloon demon, as you might, want to, or boof into it, as you might do in a Hell Rush.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'll quiet down.
Whew, all right.
Dash
I gotta get the nerves out.
Yeah, it's
No.
But it will send you straight up into spikes and kill you. So Violet is that kind of, cute exterior, but actually, loves explosives and spikes and blood and guts and all that kind of stuff.
Take it safe.
And that's reflected in her levels as well. So you'll see that in quite a lot of these, that they're all very spiky. They look like they were built by a Hot Topic. Nice little skip there with the Book of
Not
Life.
going for the skip there.
That was good enough of a skip. And there's a part coming up where you're supposed to go upwards through a vent, but you can actually just bonk your head on this little arch here and ride the railing to skip that entire section. Quite nice. So this is
All right, so I gotta count to 11 here.
Yeah, it would be a shame if someone went like 8, 7, 2, 1, 4, 9, 8, 16, 2, 5. Oh, well, still got it. Well, 1, 2, 9, 7, 8, 7, 6, 1, 2, 4, 9, 7, 8. Wow, you're pretty good at this. 4, 9, 2, 3, 1, 8, 7, 8, 9, 2, 1, 2, 12. Wow.
You actually did screw me up on the first one.
I almost got you. All right. Now, the thing about these Hell Rushes is that he's got to play tight, because any death sends him straight back to the beginning of the round.
And I'm out of miracles as well.
Yep. So the Hell Rushes are supposed to be challenge rounds, right? Where I guess the Miracle Katana is your kind of saving grace. If you get yourself into a unwinnable situation, you can wish for a card of your choice. Unfortunately, we need these to save time in speedruns, so you don't really get the luxury of trying to go fast. Ugh. We get got by the...
All right, if I die too many times, I will... I don't know what I'll do. I'll show them off afterwards.
I got nowhere to be.
Yeah. I'm psyching myself out too much.
That's fine. There you go. At the balloon demon skip there. That's really tough because The Book of Life is one card in the game that isn't lost when you discard it. So in order to pull off that little maneuver there with the Balloon Demon, you need to discard your Book of Life, which immediately teleports you into the Balloon Demon, which is going to spike you straight in the cranium. Then switch cards, and then discard your Godspeed to cancel your upwards momentum. I'll be a little nicer this time. The Elevator you need to stomp 11 times, then 12 times, then 13 times. Otherwise you get put onto Idiot Island.
I've tried to do Elevator blindfolded. It's almost possible.
Almost. I'm sure you can get this.
I'm sure with some work I could do it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we've seen this before. Just spikes all around, and if I touch one, I die. All right, back on All Seeing Eye. So the skip here is you go around to the right, but that's really difficult. So I'm just gonna go over the top.
Yeah, there's a very hard skip that saves about a second, which is...
Yep, it saves 1 second.
Which is kind of the name of the game for Neon White. There's lots of individual level specific strategies that are slowly getting worked into the rushes. Side quest rushes are a lot shorter than the main game one. So there's a lot higher of a kind of, we'll call it a tolerance for error, right? Or a lower tolerance for error.
Okay, again, I played that super safe. The record strat, what I usually do is you swerve to the left and shoot a further one, but yeah.
Nice little bullet reflect.
Okay, so we're into the safe spot. You might think, Resident Saw 2, if you did this level casually, you'd think it sucks, but I'm here to show you a strat. You come around here, and if I mess this up, I'm gonna end Violet and move on, but if you bump off that rock, you go past the lasers. Boom, Violet.
It is very tight. You need to suck in your gut and squeeze through those lasers. And the 235 too, even with safe strats, that's very nice.
All right,
moving on to red.
I'm gonna shuffle red. That's what I'm comfortable with. There we go. That's a new strat I learned recently, where you boof that.
So are you playing with a set seed for the shuffle or just full random?
No, this is full random.
Okay.
I am confident in all of my red muscle memory.
Awesome.
I don't play shuffled for yellow, though.
Yeah, so you are allowed to shuffle levels as well, which gives them to you in a random order.
Yeah, so red's levels are all about, like, teaching you how to use the cards, which means that there's a lot of skips that they don't intend, like that.
Yep, straight through the little gap in the building there. Yeah, all of Red's levels are designed to run one specific card. For example, this is the Dominion Rocket Launcher card. And doing them in Hell Rush means that you can wish for other cards if they would be advantageous. So we'll see that on a couple of levels where wishing for the Book of Life, like you did on Fireball, or wishing for a Dominion can get you further. Rush feelers in the chat. I'm feeling the rush.
Going for some safety strats there.
Yeah, the reason that the route here seems a little bit strange is that he's trying to save one of the Dominion cards, because so long as you have one card in your inventory, you start to stock up ammo. So you always get 14, 13, 12 rockets now. If you just pick up one card at a time, you have 4 rockets. So at 12, the back half of this level becomes a nice little rocket jump straight to the top of the map.
There we go.
Perfect.
So, used to discard on Purify. We don't discard on Purify anymore. We go for this skip. Made it. Okay. You can normally land up on there, but whatever.
That's all right. As long as you save the Purify here, you can get a lot of extra speed coming up pretty soon.
Okay, and then you skip this Purify. There we go.
Right, elevate 2. I wish.
I wish for a Dominion here, because you can see the end of the level. So there we go. We're just going to go to the end of the level.
Very nice. Unfortunately, the end level crystals don't count as enemies for the Book of Life. These balloon demons and barrels do, however.
I got Boof as my last red
Boof.
level.
So
Okay.
that is the reason to shuffle red, I believe, is that you don't want to have the Book of Life traversal be the last thing because it's a little dangerous. But I'm sure you'll be fine.
It is very dangerous. Stomp traversal. Oh,
We're here now.
okay. Never mind. We got Boof first. There we go. That's Boof traversal.
All right. Oh, and
Now we're just going to do everything in reverse. And actually, I might just call it after I get to the end of this.
Call this a red
I
rush?
wish to waste the viewer times. Yeah.
Your show.
I can do whatever I want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a seam in the Book of Life level where you just go to the end.
Yep.
Stomp is pretty straightforward. There's not really a lot of skip. There's like one skip right here where you avoid that first platform and hit that one. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that is all
that
the
was
red
Red
levels.
Rush. Yeah.
Aside from a little bit of botched geometry there. But now on
This would not be eligible for the category that I'm making, but you know, whatever. All right. So yellow.
Yeah.
What's special about yellow, Azure?
The gimmick for yellow is that you can't discard your cards. So normally the Purify lets you discard 2 Mecha Sticky Bomb. You can see that there's little locks under the ammo count. And that's because you can't for yellow's rushes. So you have to use your weapons as weapons, which means that the speedruns of these levels look a lot different than the speedruns of most Neon White levels. Good example of a water boost here. If you're going up a slope in water, jumping makes you go faster. So saw that a couple of times in the White Rush, but right there is a big example of it in yellow. Nice little turnaround.
Right. So that shot on balloon is free. You just turn around.
Yep. And that skips a very sizable portion of this level. Yeah, Balloon Mountain, all about hopping up and down on balloon demons, but a little U-turn gets you straight to the end.
I jumped early. It's cringe. All right. So it's climbing gym. The end is right there. So let's just go to the end.
Yep.
Instead of going around the whole level.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons that Hell Rush is a lot faster than Heaven Rush if done ideally, is that you have these 3 wishes that you can use to get weapons, and even without discarding them, right, the Dominion still lets you rocket jump. So rocket jumping is one of the most powerful movement mechanics in any video game.
Get flashbanged by the sun. All right.
Oh, yeah.
STF is kind of hard, so I'm taking this kind of safe because it's really easy to miss some of those boosts. But STF also has the downside of its finish is right there.
Yeah.
So we just rocket jump there.
Mm-hmm. So even the fastest
focusing
route for STF is really hard, and even then it's longer than what just happened there. All right, Arena. Arena's a toughie. There are all of these tripwires that are all pointing at these doors at the very end. And the intended solution to this level is to break all of the tripwires. But if you break enough of them, the doors will take enough damage that you can just shoot them the rest of the way down with all of these stomp cards that you collect.
All right. Attitude adjustment is legitimately a pretty boring level. There's not that much to it.
This little barrel jump,
that jump is
nice.
kind of hard, but
yeah, landing on the barrel there
Yeah.
skips a lot of floating. Well, now might be a little bit late to mention that this game is very floaty. The gravity is incredibly low, which makes Stomp a much more useful card than it might otherwise be, and also kind of disincentivizes jumping around, which if you saw my talents for me, how much I love jumping around.
yeah. People are mentioning that I didn't go for the STF skip. That's on purpose. The STF skip is hard.
That skip is so hard, and like I said, wishing is still faster on that level.
Yeah.
An opportunity cost and all that, but
well, actually, the strat now is you Dominion Sunset Flip,
yeah, that makes sense.
and you do the STF skip. All right, so rocket, a lot of rocket jumping for the final level of Yellow Hell Rush.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to use it to
You already got this.
avoid most of the level. All right, I try for a double there, and if I miss the double, I do the safe route. Because getting the double is how you get that skip, but
You need
it's
every
like Marge.
rocket.
It's yeah, it's slower to go this way, but you know, whatever. All right, making sure I have enough rockets. So I'm being intentionally very careful here because this is a bottomless pit that I'm over. Ordinarily, if I were attempting a PB, I would not be being this careful. But you know, got to do it with the fans, and also not get shot. There we go. All right, so boost all the way up this, and time is coming up when I hit this. In 3, 2, 1, time.
Ah, you
All
couldn't
right.
have waited one more second.
I should have. 419 is still pretty good. That's like a top 20 time, but
Oh, Yellow Rush.
yeah. Hell rushes are very stressful, and I apologize for whiffing on that so much, but you literally just have to make like no mistakes.
Yeah. It is definitely
So, yeah.
worth it because of those katanas. They save so much time. You just have the the downside that if you make a single mistake, your run is over.
But yeah, that's Neon White. Please check out this game. It's like $20 on Steam. It's really, really cool. The Discord's great. It helps you out with they'll help you out with strats. I don't know why the music just kicked back in there. But yeah, I'm Amyrlinn. This is Aimbot. A few announcements to round out. Well, thank you, Azari, for commentating.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I was super stressed about that.
I know it is stressful to have me commentate.
Nah, you're great. You calmed me down. Yeah, a couple last things to round out the night. One Dunathon is coming up. It's a marathon that I organize. It's going to be broadcast here on GDQ. You get one submission, and you can get one run ever. So as soon as you do your run submission, you are not allowed back in that marathon format. You can be in other GDQ events. That doesn't have any bearing on it. But submissions are open until July 20th, and the second installment is coming August 13th through 14th. Exclamation OADAT in chat to find out more info and submit the run. And we'll be, let's see, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to check us out live or see any of these runs live, twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. If you're interested in live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I believe that's all for tonight. And we have Mercy Kill coming back tomorrow with Skybills. So make sure to check that out. And I'll see y'all around.